Ugh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 6:06 p.m. I have a very busy day tomorrow. It is Friday. I just got off work, took a shower, had a bite to eat, hopped straight on to make sure I did my weekend AMA. For those of you who are new, every weekend, Friday or Saturday, sometimes Sunday, we do a weekend live stream where I start off with the question, and then for about 45 minutes of the hour, if not more, I will be answering your questions, sort of provide some feedback, some support, some mentoring, whatever I can do. I know a lot of you have questions. You're getting started. Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? And I will answer them to the best of my ability. So today we have a very clickbaity topic. Normally I try to phrase them more as a question instead of doing this clickbaity topic, but it is, what is the secret to success and progress, which is what I think is really important there. And have I been hitting the gym? I have a little bit. Yes. So my personal secret to success in your career is pretty straightforward. It's hard work in the sense of consistency. Consistency is your greatest ally. It is also everyone's greatest weakness at times. What do I mean by consistency? Every day, I take 1 to 3 hours on a weekday and 1 to 12 hours depending on the weekend. Usually closer 3 to 8 hours on a Saturday or Sunday, and I work towards a goal for me. I work towards progressing my career in one way or another. And that consistency of sticking to a schedule where every morning I wake up, I put about an hour in, getting off work, I put about an hour in, and on the weekends, it varies based on what I got going on, but I put time in consistently to move forward. And the key to success is to, outside of your day job, have something that's moving you forward. And there's a lot of different things that could be. That could go to the traditional route of, hey, I'm going to go get my master's online. That could be the less conventional route of, I'm going to build a personal brand. I'm going to build a course. I'm going to read a book. But that consistency of every single day, for the most part, moving forward and never falling out of it. I have consistently, minus 2 or 3 days where I had the flu or I went on vacation or something like that, have done something that has progressed my career in one way or another. And you'd be surprised how the little things can add up. And how you can, these sort of minor little blimps that just get you a quarter of an inch closer, all that adds up. And as you're progressing, you become a much more well-rounded developer, much more well-rounded individual, and it will lead you to the path to success. And it's one of those things where it's a long-term thing to get to where you want to go. All these channels that tell you that you're going to become a developer in 2 months, and it's just clickbait. They saw, this one video, saw, and it takes out, like, developer or intern. There's a difference between getting a developer job for $10 an hour for one for $30+ an hour, and so on and so forth. And the thing you have to know is, even if you're lucky enough to be one of those few that learn to code in 60 days, right? Where do you go from there? And that consistency is what's going to carry you through long term, and that hard work, because it's easy to work hard, but how hard and for how long, right? So we all have the ability to work hard. Some of us only have the ability to work hard for 1 day at a time. If you can work hard every day, put 1 to 3 hours a day towards yourself, towards your career, you will go so much farther, so much quicker than you can even imagine. So that's today's topic about how to be successful in anything, really, is to take 1 to 3 hours a day outside of your normal job, and go from there. Hitting the gym. I've been doing perfect push-up and attempting to do perfect pull-up. Your boy is so out of shape. This is the first time in my life I can't complete a pull-up. It's disgusting. So I'm started. For those of you, a little bit about what's going on with me in my life. I've finally gotten serious about getting back into the gym. Or getting back into shape, rather. I'm not in the gym quite yet. So I'm sticking to the perfect push-up plan, and I'm trying to get on the perfect pull-up. I just can't do a pull-up yet. That's the truth of the matter. It's really depressing. First time in my life I've been so out of shape. So I am trying to get back in shape. In the mornings, we are juicing fruit and vegetables every morning as kind of a breakfast, kind of get off the fatty stuff, the carbs in the morning, and try to have that. I've been lowering my caffeine intake, all that sort of stuff. So I am trying to get better and go from there. It is 420. Happy Illuminati Day. All that sort of stuff. Finishing a web design course in college, planning on learning more HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This summer, should I learn React or Angular? I would say look at your market, but React seems to be sort of the hot technology right now. What do you think of Engineer Truth's new course, Tai Lopez style? Well, Tai Lopez lied about his credentials. The course he's promoting are for people who are actually successful without just sort of lying about it and faking it. So it's a little bit different, in my opinion. I'm concerned I'm not good enough at solving problems. How would you know whether you would need to give up on development and go to another field? Well, Mr. DMAC09, as someone who has failed several technical interviews, I have failed a technical interview with Amazon. I failed a technical interview with many companies. I can tell you that it is not something that you're always going to be naturally gifted at. It is something that you can work on and get better. And I have gotten better myself by practicing on sites like codefights.com is one I use. No sponsorship or anything, but Codefights, if you did want to send me some money, it would be appreciated. No, but seriously, practicing and it is a hard task to solve algorithms. Technical interviews are a very hard thing. But it is something you can get better at. I'm currently, I know that this is being a non-traditional student, being someone who, even though I studied some of these things in college, I've forgotten it all, to study the sort of algorithms that you should be working for, to know all that sort of stuff. It is one of those aspects of life that even if you've gone through that traditional CS program, you need to consistently be learning. And that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm trying to fill the holes in the gaps in my knowledge. I just got done reading Simple Programmer's book, The Complete Software Developer's Career Guide. And now I'm reading, currently, I'm about 8 or 9 chapters in to cracking the coding interview, which I'll do a book review and probably some topics based off of that book, and trying to fill in those voids so that I can get better at solving problems, so I can get better at solving algorithms, so I can understand these concepts that are a little bit more abstract to my own skill set and stuff that I don't potentially grasp all that well, that I don't use on a daily basis. But I understand the reality of life is that if I do want to work at a Google, I do want to work at a Facebook and Amazon, wherever, a big, well-paying, giant company, and get that on the resume, I need to have these skills. And so the same could be said for you, that you may need to just work at it. Not everything's going to come easy in life, and a lot of this stuff for me doesn't. None of us came out the womb saying, you know what, I understand problem solving. I understand how to solve algorithms. I was born and TypeScript was in my blood. It doesn't work like that. Sometimes you have to work hard at these things. And if you work consistently, you'll do much better. Hey, I'm starting my first web dev job on Monday, working as a front-end developer for a Fortune 500 company. I've been watching your videos since I started, from your free code camp tutorials to now. Thanks. You're welcome, man, and congratulations for your front-end web developer job. It's hard to get a job at those big companies, believe it or not. The Final Boss says, thanks for all the work you do. Your work ethic has inspired me to do just the same. Thank you, man. It is hard to be consistent and to progress every day. It is a challenge, because you're essentially challenging yourself to change the way that you live your life, which is a hard task to ask, right? I almost look at it like having children. When you have children, your life changes. And when you want to become a developer, you need to take the mindset that if you want to not only get a job, but progress in your career and be the best in your career. I don't have any aspirations of just having a job. I have aspirations of being a developer that people know by name. And that's not like a narcissism thing. That is a I want to motivate people, and I want to get better myself and help people stay on the path, right? The learn to code path and that. And to do that, I need to build a brand to accomplish the things that I want. And so in order to give myself validity, so that not only can I give advice here with people who have watched, several hundred videos, that I can go out there and get people to stay on the straight and narrow, to stay on the path and be successful in a traditional way as well as a non-traditional way. Because the thing that keeps people on the path is finding out how to keep something fun, how to keep something refreshing, and how to keep them happy. And finding a way to enjoy it. So do I have a brother named Eric? I do not. I do have a brother, but he has no programming skills, and he looks more like my mother. I look more like my father. Startup or a big company? It depends what stage of your career you're at. I like them both. Thanks, man. I was watching something you did yesterday on Code Fights. I was thinking, could I ever come up with that on my own? I sure hope one day I can. I'm sure you can, Mr. DMAC. It takes time, man. The Code Fights algorithms, they're hard for me. I have failed many algorithms. And I failed them at companies that, I got hit with a binary search tree algorithm. I haven't touched binary search trees in forever, and it's awkward. I bombed the interview a while back. So it happens all the time, man. So the only thing you can do is keep moving forward, keep progressing, keep getting better and better, right? So, and it's you never know what opportunities may come along because you're doing this sort of stuff. Like recently I got paid to do a course for Scrimba, Scrimba.com, which is an excellent site. If you want to check out the JavaScript course I built for them, it's an introduction to JavaScript course. It was a fun thing to make, but that opportunity came along, which not only looks good on the resume because now I'm building content and getting paid for it, and having contract work and things like that, but I'm also having that I built a course and I'm making a little bit of money. These things only come along because of the consistency of everything and moving forward with it. So you never know what sort of opportunities may open up, but what I can guarantee is that if you want to be the guy that if you want to be understand what it takes to become what you want to be, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I want opportunities like that to come my way and to potentially work out because I understand and I work hard so that those are realities. They aren't just this fantasy pipe dream. They are something I'm working towards to accomplish it. So whatever it is you're working towards you need to understand what it takes to get there, not just talk. A goal without a plan to achieve it is nothing but talk. So whatever your goal is, come up with a way to accomplish that. Robert R, enjoying the videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you with $10 donation. I appreciate that, man. I have two. So my schedule right now for the channel, for those you haven't noticed, is on Monday I release a video, and on Wednesday I release a video, and then on the weekend I do a live stream. I am considering doing more videos in the future. I got a lot on the plate right now, so doing more than 2 videos and 1 live stream a week might be a little bit much, and it's also the pace that has been allowed me to continue on with what I'm doing. So I'm always trying to come. The one thing I don't want to do on my channel, the one thing I don't want to do is repeat videos. There's a lot of videos I see on people's channels that are clickbaity, and it's kind of unfortunate because they get more views than I do. But views aren't everything, right? I'm trying to not only have entertaining videos, but also have diverse videos. So when I have videos on the channel. I do my best to make sure that is a new topic that we haven't discussed on the channel, to the best of my ability. So I appreciate that you enjoy the videos. Some videos do better than others, and I know what those are typically when I post them. Like I did a video on scope creep. It's a a little technical sort of video, not something I think everyone was going to watch. But if I do a video about how to become a good self-taught developer, which is something I haven't done before, I know that's going to get a lot more views. So I try my best to keep it fun, keep it different. God knows we're probably all sick of watching the same 10 videos and with 5 different titles and thumbnails. You're gonna be that mystical unicorn super programmer. I'm trying, man. Yeah, I appreciate that, JavaScript love. Yeah, John, I don't watch every one of John's videos. I watch a few here or there, but John's in an interesting place mentally. I don't know. I watched one video of his about what it's like to be like a public personality, and he seemed very depressed, and it was one of those things where I sort of related a bit to so John is I relate a little bit to John in the sense of he has a lot of the characteristics of the man I want to grow to be, right? I don't want to necessarily be John, right? But John understands what it takes to be successful, and I respect that about him and his work ethic. And that's one of the things I talk about, like having positive role models and negative role models. So when what John's really going through right now, in my opinion, mind you, I'm basing this off one YouTube video, so I'm not a psychologist, for the record, in case you're wondering. But he's going through something in life where I think he's finally getting burnt out, and I can respect that, where you feel like you don't want to stop working, but you need something else. And I think John's trying to find out what that something else is right now. So I hope he finds it. That's sort of my 2 cents, as crazy as that sounds. Last week I asked you about tips for interviewing for internships. I got the internship. Damn, man, sounds like I gave you some good tips. Any tips to succeed in it? Absolutely. So my number one tip is to prepare outside of work and before the interview. So before the internship. So if you should have an idea of what technologies you'll be working in. You should already be studying up on those so that you can hit the ground running. And when you leave work, it is up to you to continue studying outside of it. You need to consider this your full-time gig inside and outside of work. And once you're up and running, you need to not only understand what's there, but feel free to voice an opinion after about a month, is how I would say it. Feel free to speak up. I say a month so it gives you an idea to get a feel for things and understand how their processes are done, so you can speak to it. So when you do give your opinion, when you do have some valuable input, you're not going to be speaking out of your ass. But feel free to speak up, voice your opinion, and honestly, ask your boss directly how you can succeed at it. The thing about bosses, they want you to succeed. 9 times out of 10, unless you're dealing with someone who has the chip on their shoulder, 9 times out of 10, they want you to succeed, because you succeeding they are succeeding as well. So ask your boss directly. I say, hey, what can I do to succeed in this internship? I have a one-on-one with my boss every single week. It's about 15 minutes. And we talk about, what's frustrating me, how I can succeed, what I can do for him, what he can do for me. Have that conversation with your boss on a daily basis. Maybe you don't need to make it an official thing, on a weekly basis, but have that conversation, because instead of you trying to figure out, there's basic stuff we can do about, like, continuing to grow as a developer and being comfortable with their stack. That's an obvious one. And that's one that you should probably already know, but every company's different, and be willing to take constructive criticism and say, he may come back with you on week 1, week 2, say, you know what, we just want you to get it comfortable, this and that. don't be afraid to dive in. A lot of times when you're taking on new responsibility like this, especially as probably your first internship, it is one of those opportunities where people oftentimes are so afraid to break stuff. Don't be afraid to break stuff. Be okay going balls deep in the code. So that's my advice to you about starting an internship and how to succeed at it. It's me. It says, I've been knocking out one chapter a day in Codecademy. I'm actually learning slowly. Yeah, man. So even if that's your pace that you're going at, right? That consistency of working at it every day, and you'll pick up the pace as you move forward. You may say one chapter a day and start getting bored and like, God, I can do so much more. Let's keep it going. And continue moving forward. So Kevin Cho says, there's no such thing as a super programmer or a great programmer, only as one has more experience and exposure in programming field. If you disagree with this, you're just an ass. Yeah, I mean, there are better developers than other developers, but there's the main difference. There's a lot of differences with developers. There's those who are continuing to learn, and then those who are content. And being that content can really hurt you long term. Do you think you could get an interview with one of your coworkers or your boss of them explaining how they got to where they were? I could ask. Would I ever start my own company? Yes. If I was financially independent, meaning that I could pay a mortgage and live an okay life based off of the passive income streams I had, I would definitely start a business and work full time at it. Did I ever watch Tech Lead? No, I did not. He recently took down all his videos. I wonder why. I find the harder in life you work, the more you practice, the luckier you get. Yeah, the luckier, right? Do I prefer Flexbox or CSS Grid? Lately, so I've been using Bootstrap's column grid system. I believe in the background it it uses Flexbox. So, but I'm not too. This is crazy. I'm not too familiar with either. I plan on getting better with one or the other, depending on where I'm probably going to discontinue using Bootstrap in future videos and things like that. Hey man, how are you doing? Love your channel. Thank you, man. One of the jobs I'm interviewing for wants me to be good at SAS. What are your thoughts on SAS? Because I think it's bullshit. SAS is nothing more than one of those items where SAS is one of those items where it's not super important, but you could probably learn the basics of it in an afternoon. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. If you did watch Tech Lead, what's your opinion on your thoughts about YouTube potentially being negative to a programmer's career? I think anything where you throw yourself out in the public eye could be detrimental. So one thing that I do is I watch every video I put out. Every video I'm going to put out, I watch one time before I put it out. The reason for that is it can very much so affect your if you're talking about the workplace in a negative light, if you're talking about problems, if you're talking about issues, you're breaking a bit of trust, right? So I'll give an excellent example. I did a video about scope creep. If you watch the video about scope creep, I did a very professional video explaining my site of the point of a business analyst and a project manager, how scope creep comes to exist, and why it exists. But that video the thought process for it came out of frustration at my workplace. What that video wasn't about it wasn't about the frustration in the workplace. It wasn't about certain people. It wasn't whiny. It was in a sort of insightful video about scope creep, which is a common part of software development. But it is completely possible that if you don't, here's the thing. Here's the thing. When I am Now I'm looking at the camera because this guy asked me why I always look to the right when I'm talking videos. I don't know, man. I just am like thinking as I'm talking. I'll do better in the future. All right. So I'm like fixated on looking at the camera. So when I am, let me put it this way. Every video that I have on my channel, which is over 700, every video, I would feel comfortable sitting down with the CEO and watching them with him or her. And if you don't take your programming career seriously enough to control yourself on YouTube, other things are going to cause you to be less successful. I can say for me personally, my YouTube channel has by far been the most successful aspect of my career. It has helped to get me now 3 jobs. It continues to help me get interest. It shows I'm a unique candidate. I'm building a personal brand. It brings in side income on top of that. It is a unique project that can definitively prove that I am always learning, always progressing, and it is something that I am consistently complimented on by recruiters, by developers. So, can it be a bad asset? Yes. If used improperly, it can definitely be something that is not a positive thing. In the right hands, it will, and done correctly, it will be one of the best things that you've ever done. The problem is, you know, being unprofessional and having it's essentially it at the end of the day is being unprofessional and having a documented video of your unprofessionalism, right? So that's part of the problem. So although I haven't watched any Tech Leaves video, I understand where that thought process can come from, but I disagree with it unless if I in my instance, if you handle it well. I'm late. How's April? She's good. Life is good. Am I ever gonna stream on Twitch again? I do. I don't do these so these weekend AMAs I do through the live stream event thing. So it doesn't go to Twitch because I leave these up, but the ones I don't leave up go on Twitch. What I always look to right. I'm usually just thinking. It's kind of strange for me to look directly in the camera. I probably should. Do you guys find this better if I'm just talking and looking at you the whole time? Imagine that I am. Does the eye contact help? This is an honest question, by the way. Not so much for the live streams, but for when I am doing the, what's the word I'm looking for? When I'm doing the actual videos. Maybe I should get better on public speaking and things like that. Will I move to Silicon Valley anytime soon? I get job offers and recruiters in Silicon Valley, and I'm not completely opposed to it 100% because I would love to be involved in the tech scene, the software scene. There'd be a lot of opportunities, a lot of amazing events I'd be able to go to. A lot of interesting guests I could get on, a lot of podcasts I could guest on, and people I could meet, and it'd be very beneficial. The problem is I understand what it means to move to Silicon Valley, and I understand what it costs to move to Silicon Valley. So currently in my career, even though I think I'm worth what I'm asking to be paid in Silicon Valley, the companies, a lot of the recruiters that reach out to me are usually just looking for somebody cheaper. That's the truth of the matter. So to get better algorithms, first I would start practicing them. If you're not practicing them, you do the ones on Free Code Camp, move to a site like Code Fights or Code Wars or Hack Reactor. You guys, there's a bunch of algorithm sites, you know what I'm talking about. But I also would pick up Cracking the Coding interview. I can't completely recommend it because I'm in the process of reading it, and I just got to the first technical chapter, but I can guarantee you by how well written it is and the insight, it is definitely a interesting thing. Am I one of the corporate slaves Engineer Truth talks about? No, I'm quite happy. Yes, hacker rank. Thank you very much. You'll get job offers mainly because you have YouTube, right? No, I get a lot of recruiters that just reach out. I have a very clean resume and a very distinct profile. I take a lot of time with my LinkedIn where I'm adding my accomplishments. You know, just this morning I was adding my to my publication section the course that I did for Scrimba. So um, you know, I think if there's one company I'd like to work for, it would be, I mean, there'd be a lot. But I mean, I want to work at Google. I want to work at Facebook. I want to work at Amazon, right? But one company I find particularly interesting is after having talked to the Facebook recruiter who reached out to me, they sort of told me their hiring process. And once you get hired, you actually go into like a 6 to 8 week coding boot camp, and then you have the luxury of sort of choosing the team that you're on. So let's say they have 10 open projects. You're going to be commingling with the people who are on those open projects, some of them anyhow, and you'll get to decide what project you go on. You'll say, okay, well, these are the 10. Which one are you thinking? And, you know, I'm sure you may not get your thing every time, but you'll get a direction, which I thought was pretty cool. As well as the fact that your first 6 to 8 weeks are going to be going through a coding boot camp at Facebook, which is exciting. How's WGU going? I dropped out about 2 months ago. Yeah, it was maybe not 2 months ago, about a month ago. It was just wasn't a good use of my time. That's the truth of the matter, and I was really miserable doing it. Um, if you owned your own tech company, would you structure it in a way to avoid technical debt? I would like to think so. Um, it's I don't know. It's hard because now you're on the other side of the coin, right? Where you're saying, okay, well, we can do it the right way, or in the immediate term, we can get a financial return. So that's why I try to voice my opinion about technical debt. But you have to really understand at the end of the day, as a developer, you have a job to deliver a product. You have a job to build something, and in theory, that product needs to make money. It needs to do it in a timely manner sometimes. So it's this constant balance of. So I would like to think that I would try to avoid tech debt, but my definition as a business person of tech debt, acceptable tech debt, may be different than a developer's uh, description of tech debt. Tito, what are you doing, buddy? You want to go outside? Come on. Come on, Stink. Hey, let you out. Would I get into hacking? No, I don't think so. How long have I been coding? A little less than 2 years right now. What do you think of Dev Tips leaving his channel for Fun Function? So I've never been a big Dev Tips channel because I've never really been too much into design. I've been just more so aware that he's in the space, right? But my understanding is this has been something that's sort of been on his mind for a while. I don't know why. It could be that he's no longer, he's lost his passion for it, and I mean, he left it in good hands, right? He left it in another fellow YouTuber who has software experience, and is exciting and fun, and it's going to continue to grow. We don't know the full extent of what that means for his career, or for his like did he leave it to fun function and he's keeping 50% of the revenue? I don't know. I don't know. We don't know what the detail of that arrangement is. I mean, in that case, you're like, hey, just go do all the work and I'll collect a check. We don't know, but I find it very strange. But I mean, everyone's got to do what they think is best for themselves. So I could see how sometimes things can get overwhelming. And you can just want to say, you know what, I want something different. Even if you just stop uploading videos and do a video every month. So for me, at one time I was doing a video every day. I couldn't keep up with it. It's stressful. It's tired. So I did one, 3 a week, 2 a week. So you got an IT position, BitCode? Congratulations, man. Good luck with everything. I know you've been working hard at it. What level of detail do you think a web developer should know about hardware? I mean, not much, in my opinion, unless you plan on getting into DevOps, or you plan on getting into networks and security. That's about it. I'm finishing high school. What would you do? 2 years to finish college, or a 7-month boot camp? So I would, if I was coming straight out of high school and knowing what I know now, I would probably, try to see if I could get my parents to give me 1 year. For 1 year, I would try to just let them give me a break, and not so I could take a break, but so that I could start a side project, learn to code, like really dive in deep, learn to code, and continue to grind it out. Now, that's what I would do if I was just leaving high school. Now, if you can finish college in 2 years or do a 7-month boot camp, my advice to you, Jose, if you can't do that, or you just choose to do that and then do one of these two options, is I would do the 7-month boot camp, get a job, and then I would go back to college if I could get a company to pay for it, or if I felt like I needed it, and make the money. That would be what I would do. To succeed in the path that I've just said takes a lot of hard work and dedication, and you're going to have to do all the things that I've done, and be unique, be passionate, continue to grind and grow and build side projects, all the stuff that you're going to need to do. So that's going to be something you're going to have to learn from. So comp sci, software engineering, doesn't really matter. Software engineering is going to be slightly easier. Both are going to get you where the necessary requirements. Is free code camp still worth it, considering they teach jQuery, which really isn't in demand? So here's the thing, guys. There's a lot of roles with jQuery. They're just old websites that need to be maintained for the most part. And should you do free code camp? Yes, you're going to learn to build skills, and you're going to learn to grow your channel and grow from there. Should it be the only thing you learn? Absolutely not. And you could take those jQuery projects and those jQuery skills and say, you know what, I'm going to build it in React. I've already built it in jQuery. I'm going to build it in React. So I think there's a lot of value in free code camp, and they're really rushing right now to get their beta out. But jQuery isn't going to be the last framework you work with. I wouldn't focus too much time on it. And when their new content comes out, which if you go to beta.freecodecamp.com, you can take a look at it. You'll see they have React and Redux on there. I think they still have a jQuery section, but the main focus is on React and Redux. Hey Dylan, it's been a while since I've been here. I haven't been able to catch streams. How are you? I'm good, man. Life is good. Partnering up with, I've been partnering up with Scrimba. I just did one course for them. They liked it so much that they asked me to do a second course, which I'll be working on tomorrow. I've also been reading Cracking the Coding Interview, doing the YouTube thing, and I was going to start rebuilding. So I need to build a portfolio site. I don't have one, as crazy as that sounds. I have codingtutorials360.com, which is the old site, which is in AngularJS 1. And what I want to do is I want to rebuild it. And I want to rebuild it in Angular 2+, and build it for me, build it for what I envision, and go from there. Am I still studying? Yeah, I'm always progressing. Right now, as I mentioned, I'm doing Cracking the Coding Interview. That's the thing that I'm going to try and get better at. Some of the more traditional stuff. CS degree? No. I stopped that. That was nonsense. I shouldn't have done that. In Vue? That wouldn't be a bad idea. Vue's pretty hot. I could definitely do that. Maybe I will. I've been wanting to play around with either Vue or React a little bit more. And yeah. What was my first project? My first real project was probably the weather API from Free Code Camp. I did do like the tribute page, stuff like that, but that didn't really seem like a real project. So, have I seen Joma Tech's video? If so, what's your opinion? I don't know who Joma Tech is. Why did I say the comp sci degree was silly? A couple things. From my viewpoint, not that comp sci degrees are bad or that you shouldn't get one or that it's right for everybody or it's not right for anybody. That's not very nice. You are getting chubbier day by day. Stay healthy. That's a very rude thing to say. No manners. Absolutely no manners. Anyhow, why do you say comp sci degree was silly? Well, for me, it was silly. I went back because I had a chip on my shoulder, not because I needed anything. The things that made me successful was not going a traditional route. The things that made me successful was being able to enjoy working and being able to enjoy progressing. And so what I did was I was able to continue. I went back on what made me successful. I went into a thing that I knew I wasn't going to learn much. I went into a route where I knew I wasn't going to enjoy how I learn, and I was going to be unhappy. And so all the things that made me successful was learning the way I wanted to learn, learning what I believe is relevant, and continuing to enjoy learning and what I did. And honestly, what I got out of it is just 3 months of a reminder of why I dropped out of college at the end of the day. So it was silly in that aspect for me. Hey, by the way, for the record, your boy's stacking gains, but he's working on it, and I'm not overly heavy. But I definitely am not the young stud I once was. I'm working on it, guys. God. But you know what? Let's go ahead. Can we get yeah, Amy Schumer, get out of here, dude. Can we have an engineered versus truth versus Dolan video with both of them promoting their respective careers? So we were this close. So about 2 months ago, Matt was staying here, and I had to work a lot. I didn't really plan my time very well. But Matt and I were this close to filming a duo video together while he was here, and I was gonna be Dolan and he was gonna be Matan, and he was gonna have sunglasses and like his own robe. We just never got around to doing it. It was gonna be really. We had all this great material that we were kind of theory crafting over dinner and stuff, and it was gonna be good. So maybe next time. All right. So here's my promise to you. Next time, we're like staying together. I'm visiting him or he's visiting me. I'll continue to I'll make it happen. Do you think a degree in computer science is irrelevant to a developer? No. So you'll pick up some of the computer science basics and stuff like that, and you'll learn how to problem solve a little bit better. And you'll have, most importantly of all, something that will help you scale that great HR firewall. So. Hey, how can I get better at coding so I can make games like 24/7? I'm making chess right now so I can make more games and start websites. If you want to get better at making games, you make games. A collab with Dreaded Dev. I've had a couple of you guys ask me, man. Maybe we'll figure something out. I'll get him on my channel. I'll get him on his channel. I've had a chance to watch his stuff. I think I saw him in a live stream say that he was in Florida. So maybe we'll if he's nearby, we can do it in person. It'll come out a lot better. We'll see what's up. It'll be hard to top your last Dolan collab. How often should I post my code on Git? I know employees look at that daily. I fancy front end like animation D3 worth learning. I mean, there are some places that are going to be very so here's the thing: is D3 is a great animation library. It gives you a lot of control. There's other ones out there that give you less control, but they're much easier to work with, like Google Charts or Charts.js. And you can, of course, do it yourself, which be a fucking wizard to build a bar chart. It's in SVG. But there are roles that are very animation heavy and very like they're usually very data heavy, right? They want to display the data in a very user friendly and easy to see way. So Eddie, yeah. So it's a nice to have skill. So here, this is one of those skills where it's not a requirement to be a front end developer, but in a role that's looking for it and you can demonstrate it, you will go to the top of the list because you have a skill other people don't have. That's going to make you that much more qualified. That's like, so there's skills when you interview, guys. There's skills where here's the thing. There's skills where they're required, and then there's skills that are preferred. And so that's a preferred skill. And if you have that preferred skill on those projects, when they are preferred, you're going to do very good. What's going on with Engineer Truth? What do you mean? It's just the essential O diffusion. I thought you guys would know, man. I've been having this in videos for like, I feel like 2 years now, and I get questions every live stream about what's going on here. Ravi says, sorry, I'm not quite sure what sort of currency this is, but donates 40 of some currency. So sorry, it was not meant to be rude. Said what I saw. It doesn't make me feel any better, dude. It's like, sorry, I saw a chubby guy. I said, watch out. You're getting chubby. You're getting fat, man. All right, Ravi. I'm gonna chalk it up. I'm gonna chalk it up to cultural differences in English barrier, right? So we'll call it a wash, my dude. We'll call it a wash. Don't worry. Do I recommend any specific framework for hybrid web app development? I do. I recommend React Native because you're going to use React, and React's very hot right now. Do you think it's better to practice algorithms every day or every other day? Are there certain types of algorithms focus more on? It depends on. So there are some generic algorithms, and those are going to be covered in the book I'm reading, which is very nice. So there are some computer science things that you're going to need topics you're going to need to be familiar with: big O notation, binary search tree, bubble sort. There's probably about 10 in total you need to be aware of, and then there is actually practicing algorithms. So it's like in most things. It's not one or the other. It's both, but you have to sort of weigh where you're at and what you're trying to do, right? So I've practiced algorithms. I have like 130 algorithms on my GitHub. And I have the problem with that is I can solve the algorithms. It takes some time. Sometimes but I can't solve them very quickly. And a lot of them, my understanding from how I understand algorithms, if I knew how algorithms work, like actual computer science algorithms, I'd be able to see the patterns much easier and be able to solve them much faster. So that is what I'm hoping to get out of being familiar with algorithms. So how long did it take me to learn Angular 2? Well, I started my current role. I never touched Angular 2. And then I started working with it on a semi-daily basis, but it wasn't really until maybe the second or third week I ramped up and got going. And it probably took me 6 weeks really to get like up and going. Maybe a month. I mean, I'm still here. Here's the thing about Angular. Angular's so wide and vast. I'm learning things about Angular. So even though I've done a 25-hour course and an 8-hour course and I've built projects, I'm still learning shit on like a daily basis. So it's one of those things where it's very powerful. Yeah. So on that note, I will take questions for about 5 more minutes, and then I gotta go do some push-ups. I gotta stretch a little bit, and then I have to do some reading. Tomorrow I am all day. I'll be working on building another course for Scrimba, and just continuing to try and progress and grow, right? So, everyone's growing in different ways, or I should hope so. You may just be trying to learn for loops today, because that's where you're at, but you should continue to grow, even if you feel like you're making no subscribers. I don't like reading technical books. And Cracking the Coding Interview is a technical book with a very specific goal. So I give it a pass. But I typically believe in soft skill books. It's learning languages and things like that and projects from books I don't think are the way to go. But Cracking the Coding Interview has been such a resounding success in the industry, and having talked with several coworkers who have sworn by it, people whose opinion I've taken a chance, and I can tell you thus far has been a very interesting read, although I'm only about 50 or 60 pages in. Matt says, I received the front end now degree scholarship this weekend. Thank you again, Dylan, for mentioning the challenge one of your videos. Awesome. And so did Forrest Tang. So what's going on with Matt? Matt is in a spot where he wants to help people better their lives. He originally, and he's still doing career videos, but his sort of path with career videos was making sure you got the job that you wanted. And now he's trying to help you be successful in whatever way that he can. And I can see how that could push people off, right? So I understand that. And I think he does too, to be honest. And he doesn't expect everyone to agree with his content changing direction. And but I think that's what he's trying to accomplish. So yeah, it's like so Matt for the last year or so has been doing a lot of personal development, and I think that's part of it as well. Is this is some personal development that he has learned and been successful with, and I think he wants to share with people and get people up and going with however they want to develop. So I respect that. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you all. I hope whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you are trying to work towards, that you understand that it takes work to get there. None of this stuff happens by accident. It's like the joke someone said earlier. I find that the people who work harder and longer get luckier, right? So it's not that hard work and consistency is just gets you luck. What hard work and consistency gets you is that when opportunity comes, you're there at the door and you are who they are looking for. So whatever your hard work and consistency you're working towards to accomplish, keep that in mind, is that what that's doing is preparing you for opportunities so that when the time comes, when the time is right, you are ready. Because you never know when a good opportunity may come and how you may fail to be ready, and you may regret it for a while. So prepare yourself. See you guys next time. Bye.